Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing another transparency update and also talking about Tesla stock a little bit as well. So if you're new here, that just includes me talking about my gains or my losses for every single stock market day, whether it's a huge red day and I'm down over $20,000, or if it's a huge green day or even just a solid green day like with today where we got kind of a surge. I always like to have that transparency and share the portfolio with you all and show you exactly what's happening with my investment decisions. So as always, of course, if you appreciate the transparency and enjoy these portfolio updates and the Tesla videos, please make sure to smash that like button. It really does help me out. But just getting into the portfolio for today, as you can see, we are at a value of $173,634.43. And in the normal market hours today, we got a plus 3.30% gain, which is plus $5,562.67. And in the after hours currently, we are at minus 0.31%, which is minus $531.54. And so, full disclosure also, I think this could be an all-time high for the portfolio, and so we'll get into that in just a second with the yearly chart. But to go ahead and address the other time frames as well, for the past week we are currently up 4.91%. That is a plus $8,124.22 gain. And over the past month, we are up 4.47%, which is plus $7,426.87. And over the past 3 months, we are currently up 33.64%, which is plus $43,703.07. And then finally, for the past year, we are currently up 86.23%, which is plus $80,394.43. And then the same thing applies to the all-time chart as well, considering that I've been investing on Robinhood for under a year. I started on December 2nd, I believe. So just addressing what I was talking about a few seconds ago, like I said, I think today could actually be an all-time high record for the portfolio. Now keep in mind, if we look at the previous peak, technically according to this chart, the all-time high marker, at least from what we can see right here, would be on August 31st. However, keep in mind that one thing Robinhood does is that when you tend to add funds over time, for example, let's say Tesla stock hit $498 per share on this August 31st date. So let's say we went up to this peak, maybe not exactly this value, but basically we hit this peak with Tesla stock and then afterwards it went down. But between August 31st and today, which is October 14th, I've put a lot more money into Tesla stock and I've deposited more money into my account. So keep in mind that with Robinhood, as you start to deposit more money over time, it also applies your investments to the previous peaks as well. So basically, I think this was actually only around like the low 170,000s. So I don't think this actually ever reached this high of an amount. I think it reached either like maybe 170,000 or maybe 170 to 174. So I honestly think today is either an all-time high or kind of matching a previous all-time high. And just keep in mind that this $179,000 almost, that is actually not the all-time high. It's basically inflated based off of the fact that I've put a lot more money into my portfolio. So let's say the previous all-time high was 174,000, but when I start putting more money as part of my investment in the stock market into Tesla stock, then it factors that money and adds it on to the previous peak. So let's say this was at 174,000 like I said, and then since August 31st and now, let's just pretend I added $4,000. So it actually moves up the previous peak based on how much you've put into the market since then. So keep in mind with Robinhood, the value on those previous peaks aren't always exactly correct because between then and now, I've actually put a lot more money into my account, which has actually raised the value of this previous peak on August 31st. So like I said, I think today we have either hit an all-time high or we have basically just matched the previous point, because I don't remember a time period where I got over a $170,000 value in the portfolio. So I just wanted to address that as well. Even though today isn't as high as the previous peak, I think today is actually an all-time personal record, or at least matching the previous one. As I emphasized with today, Tesla stock isn't as high as it was previously on August 31st. On August 31st, it was at a value of like $498 per share, and as you can see currently, it's at around $460 per share. So if this does hit an all-time high, if it hits $500 per share, then you can almost guarantee wherever this peak is in the future, it's going to be a lot higher than the previous one because I've put a lot more money in since then. And then also, of course, as you can see, they're pretty similar in terms of the hype between August 31st and today, when we're still like $40 off from the all-time high price. So I'm pretty excited about this, and as you can see, we are nearing 100% in gains just over this past year. So we're at 86.22% currently, and just to think that I've made $80,000, 80,400 almost, just on the stock market this year so far. Yes, I know it's unrealized gains because I haven't technically sold it yet, but just the idea of knowing that I've made this much so far, it's honestly really inspiring, and it makes me motivated to want to continue investing and trying to keep grinding and make sure that I can grow this portfolio tremendously in the future. Because as I've said in previous videos, once you can start to get your portfolio value just higher and higher, as it starts to grow more and more, the everyday movements in terms of gains start to get better and better and better. For example, let's say back when I had a $50,000 portfolio, if it were to grow 1% in one day, then I would get $500. But now, if it grows 1% in one day, I'm going to get like $1,700. And if it grows 2%, I'm going to get much more than that. So basically, once you start to grow your portfolio to a point where it's getting in the high value numbers, then the everyday movements, even if it's not technically a big movement based off of the percentage movement, it's still going to be a pretty notable number compared to what you're used to if you're able to grow your portfolio significantly to a point where even a 1% gain is a tremendous addition to your actual portfolio value. So that's honestly the excitement at this point in time. Like I said, with us growing 86.08% just over this past year, in less than a year, I'd say around 10 or 11 months, that's pretty exciting because I'm still in those numbers where, you know, the daily movements, it's still a crazy number to think that I've moved up almost $6,000 just in one day. But just imagine when we're at like $200,000 or $300,000 for the portfolio, what the daily movements are going to look like, especially across Tesla stock, which is one that tends to move significantly up or down, whether it's a green day or a red day. We have some pretty huge movements with Tesla. So that's kind of the exciting thing, where Tesla isn't just one of those stocks that tends to move, you know, less than 1% in one day, whether it's up or down. So that's the exciting thing about Tesla stock. It's commonly over 1% gains in one day. So just imagine if we have like another 7 to 14% movement with Tesla stock. Just think about how much gains that would be just in one day, especially if the portfolio is like at a value of $180,000. So anyways, just checking out the movement for today, starting off at 9 a.m., we had Tesla stock at plus 0.52%. That was at plus $877. And then at 9:30 a.m., when the normal market hour started, we were at plus 0.70%. And so it inclined upwards with a lot of volatility throughout the day, and we hit this peak at 10:25 a.m. at plus 3.14%, and then it dropped back down and then inclined upwards again to this point at 11:45 a.m. at plus 3.85%. We had more volatility up until this point at 2:15 p.m. at plus 4.24%. Now at that point of the day, I think that was the highest point of the day, and that was a $7,153 gain. And then after that, it dropped back downwards, and then it inclined upwards to this point at 3:35 at plus 4.06%, and then it dropped back down all the way to this point at 3:55 p.m. that was at plus 3.46%, and then it continued to drop back down in after hours to this point at 5 p.m. at minus 0.60%, and then it inclined back upwards to where it's at currently at minus 0.39%. So in after hours, it has gone on to decline a little bit, but it's starting to incline lately, just within like the past few minutes or so. So as you can see, the after hours for Tesla are negative currently. However, as I always say, just because it looks like this today doesn't mean that's going to determine what tomorrow is going to look like. A lot of things can change between now and then in people's mindsets on whether they should buy Tesla stock or not. And so just addressing Tesla stock in comparison to the rest of the market as well, we have NASDAQ in the green today at plus 0.97%. VOO is actually in the red today, which is what I use as like the general stock market representative. So VOO is in the red today at minus 0.59%. Adobe is in the red today at minus 1.56%. Shopify minus 2.58%. Nvidia minus 1.22%. Microsoft Microsoft minus 1.01, Apple in the red, Amazon at minus 2.49. So with today, Tesla basically dominated the stock market, where we had like the general stock market in the red. We had a lot of tech stocks in the red, including Apple and Amazon, Nvidia, all of those big ones. And then, as I said, you have Tesla, which is one that has basically surged today. It basically did the inverse of Amazon and still a little bit more on top of that. And then just looking at the rest of the watch list as well, you can see right here there's a lot more red than there is green. So Tesla has basically dominated the market today with a huge movement upwards, where everything else is kind of doing the opposite. So that's pretty impressive as well. But just to check out my gains for Tesla stock for today and in total as well, as you can see, we are currently at plus 2.94% or plus $4,985.47. And then for the total return, we are currently at plus 54.78%, which is plus $61,788.62. And then, as we covered with a weekly chart, we are currently up a decent amount for the week so far. We have a notable visual incline that we can see. And I noticed recently it seems like we kind of have this pattern with Tesla in which the final day kind of loses the rest of the progress before all of that. So it's kind of unfortunate recently where we've been seeing, a few days of growth for Tesla, and then the final day ends up ruining all of that previous growth and takes it all away. So that kind of seems like a common pattern. As you can see, we have a big incline upwards, drops back down, big incline upwards. So I'm hoping as we get near earnings, and you can see it even more with this right here, but I'm hoping as we get a little bit closer to the earnings report on October 21st that we'll actually see a permanent movement in the stock price, kind of like how if we look at it for the past year, once it goes up from this April 3rd marker, it continues to this point and it goes upwards. It never goes back down to this plateau spot. So after we had this surge upwards, to this date and time period, we hit this plateau here, but never do we see the stock go back down to this previous value. And so the same thing applies here as well. It goes upwards right here, and yes, it dropped down a little bit, but still, it never really dropped back down to this value at this plateau. Maybe it hit this peak right here or got close to it at least, but still, as you can see, it's basically like stepping up the stairs. Once you go up that step, you can't go back down to the other one. I mean, obviously you can, but I'm just talking about in terms of what I've seen with Tesla stock so far. It doesn't seem to go back down to where it was at previously once it goes up a full step, with the exception, of course, this run up right here and then the crash, which is one of those few rare situations where you would actually expect it to go back down, because that's just natural with any stock market crash. But as I stated, basically once it goes up one of these steps, you don't really see it returning back to that plateau spot in the previous step. So that's interesting, of course, but obviously with this spot up here, it's a lot different from what we've seen previously. So we're seeing a wide range of patterns with Tesla stock, but still it's very interesting regardless. We had a bunch of events specific to this time frame, like with the battery day sell-off and all of that stuff, and then we had the earnings report coming up as well. But with this video, I just kind of wanted to have the transparency with the portfolio, and also, of course, just talk about the possible future with the earnings report on October 21st. I think they are going to beat expectations, and I honestly think that's a pattern that will continue over the next quarters as well. But anyways, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and also feel free to check out Robinhood and Webull in the description below. If you sign up with my referral link, you'll get some free stocks, and especially with Webull right now, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600, and to get that, all you have to do is sign up with my referral link and deposit $100 into your account. And keep in mind, you can take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. So it's basically just nice passive income with minimal effort. And it also helps support the channel as well, in which I'll get some free stocks, which I commonly just sell and then use to buy Tesla stock. So it helps me out with my investing strategy as well. But anyways, I just want to let you all know about that. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.